Welcome to your Tech News Today, where we keep you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. It's Thursday, March 7th. I'm Mike James. Coming up in a bit, touching new breakthrough in robotics. Then, businesses have a new tool in their fight against hackers. Plus, Facebook's rolling out a new feature. And let's hope you'll never have to use it. And learn about a video game designer who will get the job done even if he's hooked up to an IV at a hospital. We'll get started in just a moment. Right now, we'd like to recognize our partners who help make this Commando podcast possible. We start with advancements in robotic tech. Picture this. You're on a video call with a loved one who lives far away, and next to that person, on the other end, is their cute dog, and you just want to pet the cute little puppy. Well, one day you might be able to, and for 3 tech firms that are working together, what they just created is definitely a start in that direction. What they built is a robotic hand and a special glove. And you're probably thinking, put on the glove and it'll act as a remote control for the robotic hand. And you would be right there, but that's not the whole picture. Tech like this has been around for quite a while. This is much more than that, and potentially a breakthrough in robotics. Because not only will you be able to use the glove to control the robotic hand as a way to say, pick up a shoe, you'll be able to feel the sensation through your glove. It's actually a haptic glove with sensors built in to each fingertip, so if the robotic hand brushes up against something, you would feel it. And if you pick up something, you would really feel it in your fingertips. 3 tech firms, SynTouch, Haptics, and Shadow Robot Company, not only just built this, but successfully tested it. A person in California wore the glove to control a robot hand more than 5,000 miles away in London, England. The hand was used to pick up a ball, play chess, even type a message on a keyboard, simulating real touch to the person on the other side of the world. It is pretty cool, and the creators say their new tech can be used to safeguard people from dangerous tasks as well, such as bomb disposal or handling chemicals. And just think, maybe one day you'll be able to use robotic hands, plural. Give someone a hug on the other side. Well, that's a little bit creepy, so we should probably stick to playing chess for now. Hey, think you might have hackers creeping around your business network? Well, now you can Google it. At least that's the idea behind a new cybersecurity tool called Backstory that was released earlier this week. Think of it as kind of a Google Photos for business network security. What it does is allows companies to upload, store, and analyze their network traffic and see other data to see if cyber crooks are lurking and what they might be doing. It's similar to some other options already out there, but it does things the Google way by storing and indexing tons of data. And there's a reason I keep mentioning Google. The company behind Backstory is Chronicle, which is a spin-off of Google's parent company, Alphabet. So Chronicle is kind of a sister company to Google, and that also means Backstory is using Google's massive infrastructure and analytics capabilities as a way to weed out potential threats or find other security issues. Chronicle says Backstory tools could replace old standard types of network monitoring. But as far as potential data is concerned, Chronicle's been quick to point out that they're not Google, saying any businesses that use their new security platform will not have to worry about data sharing or mining. Maybe, but as we've seen in the past, sometimes it's easier for companies like Facebook and Google to ask for forgiveness rather than permission when it comes to our data. Just ahead, Facebook's got a new feature rolling out, one that deals with tragedy, and the British royal family has had enough of online trolls. Right now, let me tell you about our partners at Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos. All commission-free, plus there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. And with Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio. Discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss an opportunity to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Tech News a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you get started. Just sign up at money.robinhood.com. Again, that's money.robinhood.com. Well, Facebook's got something new in the works, and even though it's just starting, it's all about the end. As a matter of fact, they're rolling out a new feature called Tributes, which is designed to work with accounts of people who have passed away. So if you don't know what happens to a person's Facebook account when they pass away, it becomes memorialized. So basically, it's a place for family and friends to gather and share memories on the deceased person's timeline. Tributes builds on that. Once an account becomes memorialized, those posts offering condolences will be placed in the new Tributes section. One thing to note, though, right now, the Tributes feature isn't available for everyone. You might see a message letting you know if it's not available in your area, but Facebook says they're working to make it available everywhere soon. And while we're on the unpleasant topic of death, have you designated a legacy contact for your Facebook? That's the person who will manage your account once you're gone, for things like writing a pinned post or a profile as a farewell message or as a way to let your friends know the details of your memorial service. It sounds like I'm kind of planning a funeral here. That person would also be able to respond to friend requests, update your profile and cover photos, or just request the removal of your account. A big difference, though, is that legacy contacts will have more control over Tributes posts than the rest of the account, so the person you designate wouldn't be able to access your messages, remove or change posts, or delete friends. And if it's something you're interested in, we've got instructions on how to pick someone to handle your Facebook affairs at commando.com. Well, you know who doesn't care if they stir something up on your social media account, even in Tributes? We're talking about trolls, and because trolls have been around since the early days of the internet, I'm sure you've run across them a time or two. Many of these sleazy excuses for human beings won't just troll the average Joe. They'll also make personal attacks directed at celebrities, politicians, and famous people in general, just hoping to get a response. Well, the British royal family is apparently fed up with it and are fighting back. Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, has been taking heat through social media since her relationship with Prince Harry went public in 2016. Things were so bad that the prince ended up issuing an official statement condemning the wave of abuse and harassment she experienced. Markle apparently isn't the only member of the royal family who gets hounded by trolls. Duchess of Cambridge Kate Middleton is also a target for trolls. The strange thing is, neither of them even use a personal social media account. Instead, they share updates through official royal platforms that have millions of followers. Everything posted on the official royal platforms receives hundreds of comments, and as you might expect, many of them are from trolls trying to cause trouble. So now they've published guidelines for interacting with the royal social media channels. They were made up to help create a safe environment on all social media channels run by the royal family, Clarence House, and Kensington Palace. Anyone engaging with the social media channels is asked to show courtesy, kindness, and respect for all members of the social media communities. They've got a whole list of violations, and if you don't follow the rules, they can hide or delete your comments. Things like no defamation, no discrimination, and if they really don't like what you have to say, they won't hesitate to get the police involved, in which case the trolls are royally screwed. If you have an Apple Watch, then you're aware just how expensive they can be. And if you don't have one, you're probably also aware of how expensive an Apple Watch could be. About a year ago, Fitbit released the Versa, which is definitely more of a true smartwatch than just an activity tracker. And at $200, it also is half the price of the Apple Watch. Now Fitbit's doubling down. On Wednesday, Fitbit unveiled the new Versa Lite, and it comes in at $160. Business Insider compared the smartwatches and liked its fancier flagship, the Versa. The Lite automatically tracks activity, supports a lot of exercise modes, has a heart rate sensor, and it'll track your sleep stages. You also get notifications, and it can control your music as long as it's connected to your smartphone. And like the first Versa, it's water resistant and should last about 4 days on a single charge. There are some workout trade-offs, and surprisingly, it won't be able to count the number of floors that you've climbed. As far as the Apple Watch go, they've got similar features except for native sleep tracking. at least for now, and also got dedicated GPS that doesn't need your phone. Oh, and that has the name Apple on it, and that usually leads to a higher price just in and of itself. So is the Fitbit Versa Lite worth it? The fact that the Apple Watch is 2.5 times more expensive makes it absolutely worth considering. But if you have an iPhone, keep in mind that it really only plays nice with the Apple Watch, so your connecting options for anything else will be limited. Apple just doesn't like anyone else coming into their little garden. But if you go after the Versa Lite, pre-orders have already started and it'll be released later this month. It also comes in 4 fun colors, so if that's not the reason to buy a device, I don't know what is. Coming up next, who needs sick days? This video game designer will work through just about anything. Right now, we take a quick break to hear from our friends who help make this podcast possible. Well, we all know it. People get sick. It's a fact of life, and wherever you work, you probably have sick days available to use when you're feeling a little bit under the weather. But one video game designer is just working right through it. Masuhiro Sakurai is a big-time game designer for Nintendo. Maybe you've heard of Super Smash Bros. Well, he's the guy behind that game. But over the past couple of years, he's had some health issues, including a bad shoulder injury that makes it difficult for him to move his arm. But even with the injury and crazy work schedule, he's proud of what he does and won't let anything get in the way. That's why he only took 3 vacation days last year, and he says he works like normal even when he's hooked up to an IV drip, and it's apparently worth it. That most recent game he directed, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, came out last December, and it was the fastest-selling game in Nintendo's history. Talk about dedication. I bet he doesn't even have to turn in a doctor's note when he takes a day off. And by the way, once you're done listening to Tech News Today, do us a favor, give us a good rating on wherever you listen. It helps more people find us, and we do appreciate that. And finally, for today's Commando Kicker, wearing a helmet when riding a bike is probably something you've been taught since you were a kid. And while it may seem like an ugly hat or unnecessary accessory, helmets can quite literally be life-saving. For one cyclist, a helmet was the one thing that stood between his head and the asphalt. This bicyclist had a close encounter with a deer while biking at 40 miles an hour. Could you imagine? Luckily, he was able to walk away in one piece, as was the deer. The cyclist was biking down Mount Lemmon outside of Tucson, Arizona, when the deer ran across the road in front of him, causing him to fly over the handlebars and land head and shoulder first on the road, while the bicycle was shattered and the rider suffered some road rash and a broken foot. The injuries could have been much worse without the helmet. Yeah, tell your kids. For more interesting facts, go to Commando.com and search for the Commando Kicker. And that's your Tech News Today. If you enjoyed it, check out our other digital updates. You'll get tons of great information, like our Consumer Tech Update, packed with facts, opinion, and introducing you to the latest going on in tech underneath the surface. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow.